Brianna.
Yes,
But
sir.
we're going to call you Bree from now on.
Alfredo.
So we're finally here. We met
We did.
at the airport of all places, LAX. That LAX is like,
Divine
it's a
timing.
moment. It was, but I was sitting at the bar. It was like, what, noon? I wasn't drinking, but it could have been. But I was having coffee and like a croissant or something. And
then I show up and I just gaze across this bar. And I'm like, tell me that is not the hair god, Alfredo. And it was. And he was.
you asked me if I did hair first. You're like, do you do hair?
Yes.
And then you asked if you could sit by me, which was
that
so
was my
sweet.
polite way of acknowledging him. But yes, I said, do you do hair? And he said yes. And so we sat together as fellow hairstylists. And I told him about my lost luggage and all my strife prior.
And you do hair too.
And I do hair as well.
So look, I'm excited to do your hair. You sent me some inspo pics and we're gonna have so much fun today. I'm glad we made this happen. You're gonna let me be the first to ever give you a base break.
Yes, I am.
Because with the picture you sent me, I'm gonna pop it in, but like we definitely need to lift this a little bit. You're
Yes.
pretty dark.
It's
like
dark.
a level 3, level 4.
Yes.
Beautiful, but for the color you want, it was really kind of a more all over like caramel,
Right.
sun-kissed, warm balayage, I'd say, which is gonna be really pretty for summer. Like it's so beautiful out today. You can't see outside, but
Gorgeous.
summer has risen. Have you noticed?
It has.
And then we're gonna do balayage, open air balayage. I want to keep some of this, but I want to do like a really beautiful caramel balayage on you. And I know Philip's gonna cut it, and it's gonna be magnificent. I hope.
Yay.
I'm putting it into the universe.
I'm so excited.
Me too.
All right, Bree. Well, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
absolutely. And I mean, Alfredo told me all about you, so it's so good to see you in person. So let's talk about the haircut. I know you're been through some stuff, and there's quite a bit of different things happening here. Some breakage,
Yes.
maybe some stress, things like that.
Some uneven lengths due to stress, maybe some thyroid issues, also some chemical mishaps, and it's been also about over a year since any haircut. I'm also a stylist, and I am the last to get to my hair.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't had a haircut in 12 years, so I get it.
Oh.
So, yeah, no, let's do this where we go through, we'll kind of, I mean, some areas need to be blended in, married in, as we might say, right?
Yes.
And you are willing to lose a little bit of the length, right?
Yes.
Some of it. Okay, I think that's fine, but we'll definitely keep it longish,
Yes.
feeling. And maybe, we do like kind of a longer curtain bang type thing. What do you say?
I'm into it.
Okay, perfect. All
Gotta
right,
cut
well.
the dead ends off.
So we'll do some treatments, we'll do some new color, we'll get the new haircut. This is going to be awesome.
Yay.
Yay.
Woohoo.
Now let's get into this sun-kissed balayage caramel style. I would love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel, like, comment, all the things. Would really appreciate it. Started everything out with the K18 chelator, followed by their mist. The chelator gets rid of all the most common minerals and elements to give you a clean slate, and the mist starts that K18 repair. First things first, I needed to do a base break, and as you heard in our consultation, this was Brianna's first base break ever. I did 7-1 and 6-1 with 20 volume by Oligo Pro's Color a Permanent line. She had quite a line of demarcation there, so you can see I really went through. This was her first base break ever, so I started at the base, and I only leave my base breaks on for about 10 minutes, so I had to work really fast there. Once I got it on, I used my fingers to really massage it into her scalp and create a heat conductor. A base breaker is really basically something that I do to bump the base about a half shade to a shade. We were able to achieve that, and then Philip came back in with the K18 Molecular Repair Hair Mist. Remember, you always leave that in for 4 minutes, and that's me coming in with my Tangle Teezer. Tangle Teezers are so good for damaged hair, and Brie had a lot of damage in her hair, so that combination of the K18 Repair and Tangle Teezer is really just perfect. It just makes detangling so easy, and it detangles without damage. I have these brushes for fine and fragile. I have them for curly hair. They have a lot of different ones to choose from. They even have ones for extensions that I love for my extensions clients. You see those bristles there. And here's a little extra special thing for you today. That is my baby Truman, my French bulldog, who is always with me at work. He is just the sweetest dog, and he's going to be 5 years old in just a few weeks. So, of course, we had to do a little celebration dance for that, and it was time to get back into this. Now it's time for the haircut. There is Philip Wolff hair. We just wanted to do some really natural long layers. So you see him doing some point cutting there. That's just going to really accentuate the sun-kissed balayage. You're going to see I'm going to be doing an open air balayage technique. I wanted it to be like really beachy, really natural, really caramel. She wanted a warm balayage, so I didn't really need to worry about making it super ash or cool or anything like that. And I love a good warm hair color sometimes. Summer's coming, and I think it's going to be perfect with her skin tone. If you see there, he came in with his elevation and just added those point cutting and those layers in her hair to create those nice long layers around her face and in the back. Shaking it out there, you can really see the haircut taking shape. That is our ring light, and here's a little glimpse of outside. It is so nice in Los Angeles right now. This is in the Hollywood Hills. It's so nice that it's getting warmer outside. You can see they're coming in and just doing those final touches on the haircut. And all we've done so far is the base break. This is going to basically be a 3-process color, but it really doesn't take that long. I love doing free paint balayage. It really is a great way to add those sun-kissed highlights. And you can see she was checking herself out there in the cell phone. It was time to get into color. I used Oligo Pro's Blacklight Clay. If you haven't used it, definitely give it a try. I'm obsessed with it. If you see there, I'm painting with my Framar Power Painter brush. That's one of my favorite brushes to paint with. It's got a nice kaolin clay to it, so it really clings to the hair and doesn't have a lot of transfer. I can even use no cotton or plastic with this, but you'll see here, I'm going to use some Glad cling wrap to separate. And yes, I'm using my hand. I used to not use gloves, and I wanted to give it a try. You see me keeping my brush super clean there. And if you notice, I keep the tip of my brush like a pen. I really want to do that to avoid any transfer on the hair, and I make my 2-point zigzag balayage. Once I get my lines there and my 2 points, I'll come in and paint my clay in the mids and bring it all the way down to the ends. I do like the feel, I know this is going to be controversial, but of the hair in my hands when I paint, there's just something about it. But I will tell you, I've been using gloves lately because a lot of y'all were like, use gloves, use gloves. Although I like the feel, after doing this again for the first part of the transformation, I was kind of like, nah, I'm going to go back to using gloves for sure. You see Philip there texting, catching up on appointments. I like coming in and doing some open air balayage and just doing some like free painting. If you notice, I'll just kind of choose some areas. I did a thicker one on the left and a thinner one on the right. I really kind of look at the hair as my canvas and just want to paint some beautiful natural highlights. And she had some pre-existing blonde there, so I was just going to use that. And obviously we needed to do a great toner gloss that I'll tell you my formula in a minute. But as you see, I'm working my way up here using my Glad cling wrap to separate, and then using my power painter and doing some back painting, and then using my hand at this point to use it as a paddle to just really put that clay lightener with that 20 volume all the way down. And just making sure that my saturation is on point. Saturation is so important with the open air balayage. Honestly, it's important with all your blonding services. But whenever I'm doing free painting on the hair, I want to really make sure that my placement is perfect, that my saturation is consistent throughout, and that I'm avoiding any and all transfer on the hair to avoid any spotting, to just get a really nice clean lift and clean sun-kissed balayage blonde pieces. So if you see, I've got a rectangular section on top. I asked Brianna how she likes to wear her hair. She usually wears it parted down the middle and says she has her hands in her hair a lot. She likes really clean hair, clean blowouts. So I wanted to make sure that no matter how she wore her hair, she would have that really beautiful sun-kissed glow. So you see me here, I'm almost to the very top of that midsection, and that's my final V on this right side of her hair. Gonna come in now and fill in my lightener, and you see that clay, it just stays that perfect Cool Whip consistency that I need throughout. I didn't have to add any clay or any lightener or developer. It stayed the same perfect consistency the whole time. That's why I love Oligo's Blacklight line. It really is optimal for blonding services, whether it's free paint or also they have their other, they have their cool tone blonde. They also have their extra blonde, their 9-level lift that really, really is phenomenal for blondes. But for here, I wanted to have this balayage look. So you can see my placement there, really just perfect all the way around. And I did a brick lay. And then we got into toners. I used Colora, that's also by Oligo. And I really wanted to have it kind of be like a warm beigey blonde. So they have the GI series. I did 8 GI, but at the base, I did 5 N and 6 GI, and then I came in on the mids and ends, and I did 8 GI. G is obviously a golden, and I is ash. And those two sort of like fight each other. I guess I heard somebody say this the other day. I can't remember, but I love that. I was like, in the best possible way. I think that's so true for this, for the GI. It's called a warm beige. So I really love that. They also have an AI, which is going to be probably more like your cool tone beige, but I love the GIs. I think it's like that perfect beigey, especially for sun-kissed hair. So you can see me here doing the first part with a bowl and brush, and that's going to be more my shadow root. And then I mix the rest in a color applicator bottle. So this is that 8 GI that you see me applying to the mids and ends and color melting it into my darker shadow root. I wanted this to have a really gradual base. So there's my Tangle Teaser again. I guess hair hack, if you will, hot tip. I love using my Tangle Teaser to blend a color melt. There is nothing like it. So if you see I'm blending my toning formula of that color on the mids and ends and then using my Tangle Teaser to color melt it and then coming back. Do you see that shine there? What I love about Colora by Oligo, it's an acidic with an alkaline. So that's very rare. There's very few toners that have that. So the acidity in it, which is going to overpower, it's not going to give you any shift, and it's going to fade and be true to tone. And then the alkalinity is going to give it that power so that it doesn't fade. I want a strong toner. Toners can fade too fast with some other brands, and I love that Oligo lasts. So Philip Wolff came back in with K18. That was their repair mask. You apply it, you let it sit for 4 minutes, you do not rinse, and then you can style as desired. He's using Design Me Volume Mousse. That was his Philip Wolff exclusive edition, limited edition. And then we came in with Babyliss Pro. That's their nano titanium dryer. It just came out in gray, and I am obsessed with this new color. They have all different colors now, and I love the gray one. If you notice, he's really working that volume there, and you can start to see the color. Look at that. You can see my color melt came out really beautifully with that darker base coming into that really sun-kissed, sort of caramel beigey blonde in the mids and ends. And he's working the nozzle there on that dryer, and you're going to see him drop here this section, and we were really, really happy with the results. The way that you finish and style, you can see that Brianna was loving her hair. We were loving it too. We were listening to 80s music this entire time. I'm obsessed right now with 80s. I think I'm very nostalgic lately. So we were listening to a bunch of 80s pop, 80s rock, Depeche Mode, Madonna, all that stuff. We were listening to Aha. Remember Aha? We were even listening to some Funky Cold Medina, Tone Loc. Just having a really fun time. So that was our 1 1/4 inch barrel curling iron from Babyliss Pro, and she actually brought her own makeup. I love when our clients bring makeup when they know that we're filming. You can see that 2-point V balayage there, and you can see the color really taking shape. There is my baby Truman walking by, such a star, my dog. So as she was doing her makeup, she was starting to see her color, and she was really, really loving the results. She wanted to just do a really soft makeup. She was actually going to a Laker game this night, so we wanted her to look really great so she could go to the Laker game and have a great time with her friends. She was literally leaving straight from this appointment. Her friends picked her up to head to the game, and we got her done just in time. But you can see the curls taking shape. We usually like to let them cool for about 10 minutes. But honestly, we were down to the wire. Her friends were going to be there in about 20 minutes, and we wanted to make sure that we got all the final shots for this video. I really appreciate you guys staying with me this long and watching this video. Once again, if you could hit the subscribe button. My dream is to get to 100,000 subscribers. I am at 72,000, I think. And it would just mean the world to me. And let me know what kind of content you want to see. What do you want to see me do on here? What kind of hair color services do you want me to do? And I would love to bring that to you. These are the finished results. I hope that you love this video. Are you obsessed? Brianna loved her hair so much. It was just that perfect sun-kissed blonde for summer. She was really feeling herself. Look at her shake that hair out. It's just so gorgeous. We were so happy with this sun-kissed blonde balayage, and Philip did such a great haircut and style on her. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think of this hair. Let me know what you want to see, and thank you for watching this hair video.